Hello there, sword friends, and more specifically Shad. This is a video response to an earlier video Shad made about something like this, a Swordbreaker dagger, and in his video he said he wasn't sure how this would work against wider swords. Now this is a bit of a sword that's seen better days, let's call it, but it is a wider sword and won't inherently fit in between the little teeth area here. So if you haven't seen Shad's video, this is a response to that. You should probably watch that first. In any case, a couple things to note before I get into using this one. I'm going to touch on using this little foil here. Now, earlier Shad had mentioned that a smaller rapier may fit in between the teeth where the inlet areas and get trapped, and as this foil illustrates, that is, well, which is certainly smaller than a rapier, it illustrates that to be true. So move it around, it does get trapped, the arrowheads kind of keep it pulled in, and it's harder to just pull out. It's also really easy to bind and control, and I found that to be the case. I was playing with my little one. She had the kindness in her heart to try and stab me in the heart. So I found it easy to control the rapier as I was playing around with it just a little bit. Now, when I handed the broken sword to my 10-year-old daughter, which I don't know if in any context necessarily sounds like the greatest thing, but I had her try to stab me with the dumb end of this thing, and it didn't necessarily, she was being very slow. And I suppose before I talk anymore, I should know, I don't know how to use this thing. I've thought about how to review the one I have, but I don't even know who actually made it. It looks like a windlass or maybe a delta, I'm not entirely sure. But I don't know enough about how to use these things to really say how it should or shouldn't work. What I will say though is, as I was using a very slow pace, my daughter would thrust in, and if I tried to grab the sword, it was very difficult. The only way it worked on these larger blades was to get it between one of the teeth and press instantly, kind of compress the blade. And then what happens, if you can get it just right and maintain that pressure, is it can hold pretty good, I suppose, is the exertion that I'm showing you on my face, is that it doesn't slide very easy, but I have to maintain this downward pressure. As soon as I let up or try to control, the blade can escape really quite easily. I have to maintain this pressure and hope that the other person is not lifting up, or it's just they're pressing down along with me, maintaining that pressure and pulling backwards, and in that way I have some control. I suppose I can push the blade out of the way, but as opposed to the rapier or something that's trapped between those pieces where I have a lot more control, this is more like an aid, and I didn't really, I can execute on it. Even at the slow speed, I had a lot of difficulty getting that kind of pressure, but again, I'm playing with my 10-year-old daughter and I don't know how to use it. And this may not be the best representation of one of those pieces from history, or even what's available today, and this thing is broken and full of jagged pieces, so I would think that would add to it. But in any case, it's not necessarily a scientific test, but what I can add to the conversation is I can say that you do have some ability to control the sword, just not a lot, and only in a very specific set of circumstances. Unlike the rapier, it's much easier to control. Hopefully that helps the conversation. As always, cheers and thanks for watching. Yes, such a bamf. Okay. Thank you, babe.
Welcome.